So many people now who are gay, lesbian, trans, and have little families and are dealing with homophobia among other parents and at schools and in all of the places that they go with their kids. Those people, I hope, will read the book and will find themselves called by the book. But what would be great would be, you know, when I'm at a parent meeting with my partner and her kids, and I see the way these heterosexual folks interact, and I know it's not fair to act as if heterosexual people are all one thing, but there are agreed upon modes of interacting that when my partner and I show up, we disrupt. These are often wonderful, very liberal, very progressive, very patient, not homophobic people, but they still don't get this queer relationship that they're now forced to be in relationship to. They're still wondering, like, why are you trying to be the guy, and why is this very feminine woman not with the man? So in those contexts, I would love to have a book to give to straight parents who are now increasingly in relationship to lesbian parents in particular. If something changes in one area, like there's a lesbian baby boom, it changes everywhere. Because now there's a whole set of straight parents who are in relationship to the lesbian baby boom, and their kids are playing with the lesbian parents' kids, and that changes their kids' understanding of lesbian and so on. You know, one of the anecdotes I tell in the book is that when we first went to this parenting group, I just didn't understand why the women were sitting around discussing the educational future of their kids and the men were standing around the room. And the men weren't introduced even. The men didn't even give their names, you know, and I was like, so I'm standing up, but I'm asked to give my name because they don't know, am I now a woman or a man? Like, what am I? And so there's much confusion about that. But I was like, well, okay, I am going to weigh in, but why are we the only couple where we're both weighing in? Like, we're queer, so you think we're both women, so because we're both women, we're going to both weigh in? I'm like, what about the guys? Like, why? Why are the guys automatically, without any words being exchanged, standing up? Why are the women sitting down? Why is the educational future of the children the woman's domain? There's nothing domestic about it. Education is in the public sphere. Isn't that a guy's thing? You know? And why did the guys sort of act like they were in the conversation for 10 minutes and then wander off? And there's no maliciousness there. There's no homophobia. There isn't even much sexism. There's just a lot of unconscious dividing up of roles that generally doesn't benefit the women, that generally works out really nicely for the men, but when we're speaking about just like your time commitments, but it also takes the men out of the lives of their kids in very fundamental ways that I think a lot of men would like to be, would like to be in more clear and intimate relationships to their children. And one of the things that I notice as an outsider is that women manage men. They micromanage men. Sometimes more than they manage their kids, they manage their partners. And I think that that's unpleasant for the men. I think it's tiring for the women. And I think there has to be a way out. Honey, did you remember to do such and such? Oh, yeah, I guess. And it's like, dude, do you really want this woman telling you every 5 minutes what you're supposed to remember? Or could you pick up the initiative? But he can't pick up the initiative unless she trusts him to pick up the initiative. Do you know what I'm saying? And most of the time she doesn't trust him. Unless she calls him 3 times, she's not sure he's going to remember to pick up the kids or whatever. Like, I want to write a book called Honey, I Forgot, you know, Honey, I Drowned the Kids or something. Because there's a lot of that, you know, like, how did everything go today? You know, a big day. Ooh, James is picking up the kids today. And everyone's like, oh, you know. And I'm like, are you kidding me, people? Wake up, Stepford wives. James should be picking up the kids 2.5 times a week. James shouldn't, like, get a medal because he picked up the kids today. So on the one hand, that's the old style feminism where it's like, you know, women have false consciousness and they're doing all the work on behalf of their partners. But on the other hand, there's a sort of advocacy for this overmanaged masculine position that gets no credit, never does the right thing, is endlessly being told what to do and infantilized, and literally is always being put back into the role of being one of the kids. So I don't see why men wouldn't be kind of interested in some of the insights in this book, but I also think that with more open and clear conversations about parenting, roles, divisions of labor, gender, straight men and women would probably make more equitable decisions about domestic labor.